this video, I'm going to show you the steps that you need to take to open up an Amazon US wholesale business as a non-US person, meaning completely from abroad. Now, it's not just for Amazon sellers. You can open up any type of business entity using this framework. Now, if you don't know me, my name is George, the remote seller. I've been selling on Amazon for almost 8 years. I'm a 7-figure seller and I've sold hundreds of thousands of products completely remotely from my office here in Australia. I've also launched Amazon software, which helps Amazon sellers analyze thousands of products in minutes and not hours or days. And I've helped many sellers open up their business structures in the US from abroad. So let's jump into it. I'm going to go over the following things in this video. You can jump straight to our topic by going to the timestamps below. Firstly is setting up your company, basically getting your LLC and EIN set up. Next is your resale certificate and what it's for. We're also going to be talking about banking, how you're going to be doing international transactions. We're going to talk about phone numbers, how you're going to accept calls and make calls. Also having a professional email address. And we're also going to be going over preparation services and the wholesale business model as a whole. If you need any more information, there's going to be a link in the description below that you can follow to get a PDF with all the things I outline. Why is it important to have a US entity or a US company in order to do Amazon wholesale in the US? The first reason is wholesale sellers and suppliers in the US will most likely not want to work with non-US companies. It's very important. If you want to have access to all these products that they might be able to sell to you, you need to have a US company. Huge and very important reason. The second reason is another very important one. There's a lot of products that are gated to non-US sellers in the US. I've come across this many times when I'm advising people. I see sellers who have set up their company structures in other countries don't have access or cannot sell a lot of the products that sellers that are set up in the US can actually sell in the US. And that works for other countries as well. I might not be able to sell products in the UK that I can sell in the US, but another UK person can sell those same products. So that's one of the main reasons why we're doing this. So your company structure. It's best to set up an LLC and an EIN. An LLC is a limited liability company and an EIN is an employer identification number. Now, to set these things up, there are a multitude of ways. Now, one of the cheapest ways is going through LegalZoom.com. They're one of the cheapest ways. You go through all the motions there and they tell you what you need to do. You pretty much do most of the work, but it's not what I would recommend. I would recommend getting a registered agent. Now, every state has something called registered agents. You contact them and they basically set up the company on your behalf. They usually cost anywhere between $300 and $600. So they might be a bit on the expensive side, especially if you're on a budget, but they do all the motions for you. Setting up an LLC usually takes maybe 1 to 2 weeks. An EIN comes a bit later. It might take 4 to 5 weeks to get the EIN. So both together might take about a month and a half. So if you want to do business right now, you better jump on this ASAP. Now, some of the best states to get your LLC set up is either Wyoming or Delaware. The best states as a non-US person, of course. Now, Delaware has 0% sales tax, but Wyoming has some sales tax. Sales tax overall is not a very important matter for us wholesale business owners because we buy products at wholesale value and we don't even have to pay the sales tax of the state. The resale certificate. Now, the resale certificate is known by many different ways. Sometimes it's called a reseller permit or tax exemption permit or resale or reseller permit. Many different ways they call it. At the end of the day, it means one thing. It means that you don't have to pay sales tax in the state you're operating in. That's all it means. Now, just as a quick example, let's say you buy a product from the state of California and you don't have a resale certificate. Now, California state tax is around 7.5%. Let's assume it's just 7.5%. Now, that $100 product, if you don't have a resale certificate, is going to cost you $107.50 to buy because there's no way to prove that you are a business. You need this resale certificate. Now, if you do have that resale certificate, you can just pay $100 for it and just forego paying the sales tax. Now, when you sell the product, of course, to a retailer, they will have to pay the sales tax. So if that product, let's assume that you buy that $100 product, you sell it for $200. Now, if you sell that product for $200, 7.5% of that is $15. So the retail buyer will have to pay $215. $200 collected by you, and the other $15 has to go to the state. Now, the good thing is that Amazon does that on your behalf. They grab that $15 and they send it straight to the state on your behalf. So that makes things a lot simpler. You don't necessarily need to set up your resale certificate in the state where you registered your business in. It needs to be in the state where your operations are going. For example, my business has been set up in Wyoming, but my operations occur in New Jersey because that's where my products are delivered to. My prep center is in New Jersey, and that's where all the things I sell are prepped from. So when I buy products, I have a shipping address in New Jersey. So that means I need to get a resale certificate in New Jersey. Now, for most states, it's very simple to get a resale certificate. You just Google resale certificate, New Jersey. Resale certificate, Wyoming. Now, Wyoming takes quite long, but New Jersey can be done in 5 to 10 minutes. Very, very fast. And most states are very fast when it comes to setting up your resale certificate. So banking might seem a bit complicated. Now, one of the best ways to structure things is to actually get a US bank account set up at one of the big firms. For example, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, Chase, any of those will be awesome. As long as you have a business set up, you can walk into those banks and set up a bank account under your business name. But it's extremely hard to do that if you're not in the US. If you're not able to go to the US and walk into the bank and open up a bank account, it's very hard to do that online as a non-US person. Now, if you're a non-US person, you need to use one of these online banks. Now, the best one for this is Mercury. Mercury, you can set up your bank, your business bank account under your business address. I also like Wise a lot, but unfortunately Wise doesn't allow you to put a business address as your registered address that you have set up in the US. They won't allow that. So the only option is Mercury in this case. If there are any other options that anyone else knows about that are very good and viable, leave them in the description below. But at this point, I understand that Mercury is probably one of the best options if you want to set up a bank account under your business and you're a non-US person. Setting up your phone number. It used to be so easy. All you had to do was go to Skype, open up an account with Skype. It used to be like $5, $6 a month. You'd get a US mobile number and you could make calls on that number, and it was very, very simple. Unfortunately, that has changed. Skype no longer offers this service anymore. Now, you probably need to go to Tello. Now, it's not that hard either. It's quite simple. Basically, with Tello, you get an eSIM, so you get an extra SIM card added to your phone. Make sure your phone can handle these types of things. You get an extra phone, and then you can set up another phone number and you can make your calls. It's quite cheap as well, roughly the same price, around $10 or $12 a month. It just depends on where you're from, but it's a good service. It's called Tello.com, so check that one out. Let's assume that my company name is ABC Retail. Now, you don't want to use a Gmail for this. For example, you don't want your email address to be abcretail@gmail.com. It's not very professional when you're reaching out to suppliers and they say an @Gmail address. You want it to be george@abcretail.com. It's much more professional. People will take you more serious if they see that you are attached to an actual, business, not, just any cowboy that's reaching out to them. So there are different ways to do this. You can go through the Google Workspace and then go to GoDaddy, get a domain and do that whole route. But there are much simpler ways, and I'm going to leave them in the description below. So click on that link to get access to that. Next is the fun part, the Amazon wholesale business model. So what's it all about? Firstly, you need to understand that there are heaps of suppliers in the US. Suppliers, wholesalers, distributors, brands, all these types of people that can give you products at a good price, at wholesale value. Now, the only reason they give you products at a good price is because you're buying from them in bulk. So if you're going to buy 1 unit of something, it'll be full price. But if you're going to buy 500 units, then they're very likely to offer them to you at a much discounted price. So that's the goal of this. You want to find a product that retails for $100 that you can buy for less than $50, for example, because after all of Amazon's expenses, the referral fee, the FBA fees, the convenience fees, all these things, you want to be left with a nice chunk of profit. That's the goal for this business. So let's say, for example, you have $10,000 you want to invest into goods and you find products that have an average ROI of 40%. That means when you send the products into Amazon and then you make your money back, you will get a $14,000 return on that. So how the process will go, you buy the products, it's best to send them to a prep center. The prep center will take care of all the products, make sure that they're the right quantities, the right sizes, the right colors, flavors, or whatever. They will apply labeling to it. A truck will come by, they'll send it to Amazon's warehouses known as a fulfillment center. When the products arrive at the fulfillment center, that means they'll be attributed to your Amazon account. When a consumer eventually buys the product, you get paid. That's the way it operates. So ideally, when you sent those products in, those $10,000 worth of goods at 40% ROI, when that cycle completes and everything is sold off, the return comes back to you. If you like, you can reinvest that total amount into goods again that make you another 40%. That's the way this whole business model operates if you want to keep compounding your growth. But of course, you might want to draw a salary. There's many different things, many different ways you want to operate this business. But I also treat this business as an investment program where you just invest. I hope you got a much better understanding of how to open up a US business as a non-US person from abroad. If you got value out of this video, please like and subscribe and leave a comment section below if you have any questions. If you want to join the Telegram group, we're going to get access to me and a lot of other Amazon sellers that are killing it. Join the Telegram group. It's also in the description below, and they're killing it using this tool over here, Astro Advanced Analytics. It helps you analyze thousands of products in minutes. Other tools take you hours or even days, sometimes even weeks to analyze these large price lists. Use this tool to also kill it. Join the Telegram group, and also you might be able to have access to get a discount on this tool as well. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.